Welcome in. Welcome to the show after the show after the show from Sunday night on HBO.
Oh, man. This was a good one.
It was a really good episode.
We're going to give you this is your chance. If you have not seen
Spoiler alert.
episode 4, then go watch it and come back. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, spoiler alert over. We are now talking about a little recap show on the show after the show for what I thought was the best episode of the season by far. And really, I mean, it's easy to say, okay, so Snow wakes up and that makes it a great episode.
Right.
But this episode had so much payoff. My wife was near tears with
The hug?
Sansa and Jon coming together. And I was so shocked because on the preview for the episode the week before, it certainly, Jon had just walked
like he
out
left.
of Castle Black. It seemed like he was gone. And you just know it's that classic television. Okay, Sansa's going to arrive and he's gone and nobody can find each other. And so what it meant for that destroyed house Stark to get back together and set the table for what I think is just
Was
amazing.
that the first time that any Starks have been like reunited since the apocalypse?
I believe so.
Yeah, because remember how close Arya was to
Right.
reconnecting with Sansa, I believe?
Yep.
And because she was going around with the Hound and everything. So really, I thought a great episode. And then you had Daenerys escaping the situation she was in.
She didn't
Not
just
just
escape it.
escaping, she owned the crap out of it.
She burned it to the ground.
And she
Okay.
said, "You are all mine."
Yes. She really needs fire retardant clothing. Fire retardant clothing would help her situation. Not that she's ashamed of anything.
She has to keep doing this where she's like, oh, all right, I survived the fire again. This is exactly how she took over the
I know.
Targaryens before.
They are big fans of the blonde girl surviving the fire. They will worship her. I will say this. I really liked what HBO has done this year in paying attention to the story and not being too HBO about everything, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Like
sure.
there were opportunities last night for them to go HBO, and they didn't. They went story-driven, and that's why people like the show is because it's like a fantasy world with real stories that people connect to. And so I thought the episode was great because of what it sets up. Oh, my goodness, will you just kill
battle.
Ramsay?
There were just so many payoffs. We had you always have the first episode, which is like basically a recap of the previous season. Then you have the exposition, like move some storylines forward. This was the first episode where there was just payoff, finality to things.
Is that because they've now diverged from the books?
I don't think so.
I don't know. I was shocked with the reuniting up at the wall. I thought this is not happening. I'm with you that they're going to get to mix around and Snow's going to miss her. So would R.R. Martin let that happen?
Yeah, well, he's still involved. I mean, he's still a writer on the show, one of the main guys. So I guess that's probably making too much of that. But I loved it. I love the storyline of the Starks reclaiming the North. So
my favorite part of the show, I mentioned this to you guys, was the conversation between Brynn and the Red Woman, where she just walked up like a boss.
'cause she is a boss.
Yeah, and said, "Oh yeah, he I'm lost his name. The guy she just killed.
Not Bolton, obviously.
Not Renly.
We're really
Not
good at
Renly either.
Go through all the names. Stannis.
Yeah.
And she walked up and said, "Yeah, I knew about that. Stannis killed his brother with black magic because he told me right before I executed him." And then there's this look as she stares down. It's like, "What are you gonna do about it? Are you gonna do anything?"
I'm going to tell you something right now. I think the reason they're playing – there's one theory I'm going to throw out there. I think the reason that they're playing up the Iron Islands, the Pike storyline with Theon is because he must – I'm thinking they must help the Starks in some way.
Hey, help for the Starks is coming. That was one of those things.
In the form of the wildlings, you mean?
No, I mean in the form of Littlefinger.
Yeah, that's coming
yeah.
too. So.
Yeah,
You'll find
both sides.
he's still on the show.
I know. My wife and I were like, "Oh yeah, Littlefinger."
My quick aside that I want to throw out there, when they scream "Open up the gate," they say it in the most panicked voice of all time.
I know.
Open the gate.
They're so freaked out.
Yeah. All right. See ya.